Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch My Hero Academia Season 2, Episode 25, the last one of this Season 2. I made a little break, between the episode 24 and the episode 25, because like the episode 24 didn't end with a big cliffhanger, and I really don't know what to expect for this episode 25. I'm gonna come back to that later. So I was not in the rush, to watch this episode. And during that little break, I remembered that one of you guys on Patreon, but also another one of you guys on YouTube told me about the OVAs, the movies that My Hero Academia can have, and the fact that I could be interested by it. So I was like, in fact, end of the season 2, I should make some researches about it and check what I can watch, after the season 2 before beginning the season 3. And in fact, I have a lot of things that I can already watch. So I was wrong, telling you that after watching my reactions and my thoughts about the episode 24, you can go on my Patreon and you can already have my reactions and thoughts to the episode 2 of the season 3. I was wrong about that, because in fact, I'm gonna watch some OVAs and some movies. I'm gonna watch the OVA My Hero Academia Save Rescue Training that I should have watched at the end of the season 1. I'm gonna watch the OVA Training of the Dead, and I'm gonna watch the movie 2 Heroes with the little bonus, the little special All Might Rising. So I think that it's gonna take at least 3 videos, because I saw that the OVAs were long, and I think that for the 2 Heroes movie and the 2 Heroes special, it's gonna be on the same video, or at least on the same day. So at least 3 videos to have with you guys about these bonuses of My Hero Academia. And after that, we'll see when I'm gonna discover the other OVA and the other movie. For what I have right now on the website that I found, and which seems really accurate, it seems that after the season 3, I have an OVA, My Hero Academia Make It Do or Die Survivor Training. After the season 4, I will have the movie My Hero Academia Heroes Rising, and after the season 5, I will have the movie My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission. Guys, you know that I love to discover these animes, but also the OVAs and the movies and stuff around them. Like, for example, for Attack on Titan, I watched all of the OVAs with you guys, and that was so great. The one about Levi, do we need to talk about it again? It was such a cool one, such a great one, I cried so much. So I'm really glad to know that I'm gonna have other stuff to discover about My Hero Academia. And even more, because I said it, I'm really surprised by how this season 2 is gonna finish. I really thought that this season 2 would finish with Bakugo and Dekku fighting against All Might, and maybe something disturbing it, like one or more villains coming to attack, or maybe a big reveal, a big surprise, something. And in fact, we already had the fight between Dekku and Bakugo. So already I'm gonna begin this episode 25 without knowing what I'm gonna have into it. For me, it means that for the students, we're gonna have maybe the results of their exams, we're gonna know who passed, who failed, who is gonna go to the camping session, who is gonna stay at the school. We're gonna have stuff about that, maybe about the other classes, about the other students who wanted to take their places. Like, for me, we're gonna have that for the students. And for the League of Villains, we saw that some new villains are coming to join the team. So maybe they're gonna meet the master, we're gonna have stuff about him. We saw that he was really healing and really close to get out, so maybe we can finish with him getting out and doing something really bad to reveal that he's back. Like, for me, this episode 25, which is the final episode of the season, I'm really like, I don't know what is gonna happen during it. Like, I'm really going blindly into it, almost blindly. So that's why, you know, to know now that after the season 2, I'm gonna have 2 OVAs to discover, one that I should have watched earlier, but 2 OVAs to discover and 1 movie to discover. It's so great. Maybe in fact, you know, the end of this episode 25 is gonna introduce the movie that I'm gonna discover after that. The OVAs, I know that there are really special episodes that you have to take, you know, to watch when you want, like, okay, it's better to watch them in a chronological order with the rest of the anime, but if you don't watch them, if you are watching them later, you're not missing stuff, you know, to continue the story. But for what I understood, you know, about the movies, you have to watch them into the chronological order. Maybe it can be that, and it can explain why the season 2 is finishing like that, you know? We'll see. Cool! I have all of them, that's it. Maybe tomorrow I can watch them? Maybe not all of them. I will see that. Stop! I don't know what I'm gonna have during this episode 25. We're gonna discover that together right now. Just a little thing, you know, about what we had during the previous episode with Bakugo and Dekku fighting together, truly, and it didn't take them that long, in fact, to decide to fight together. Bakugo was okay with it. At least he was okay to use Dekku to tell to Dekku, I'm gonna deal with All Might, you're gonna run away, I'm gonna do my best to occupy it, to fight, to face All Might, and you just have to run away. The fact that at the end, Dekku disobeyed and came to rescue him, to save him, when Bakugo is gonna learn that, because he didn't see it, when Bakugo is gonna learn that Dekku disobeyed, Dekku saved him again, and because of that they won. I cannot wait to see Bakugo's reaction. It was great to discover more about Bakugo. All of these flashbacks about him, it was really just to show that since he's a kid, he wants to be the best. But he wants to be the best because he admired All Might for that. Because for him, All Might is that great, is the best hero, because he always wins at the end. It's because of the fact that he had that image of All Might winning against the villains again and again. When for Dekku, he admires also All Might since he is a kid, but because for him All Might is there to save people, and the picture, the scene that he's watching again and again, it's All Might saving people. So it was interesting, that parallel, you know, the fact that they both admire All Might that much, but for Bakugo it's because All Might is always winning at the end, and for Dekku it's because All Might is saving people. They didn't take, you know, the same thing from All Might and his character, you know. And in a way, for example, Stain, who is a villain, admires All Might also, but he took something different from All Might. He took that sense of being a perfect hero, being really the hero who is not committing any mistake, who is really like that, like he took all of these values and principles. So it's interesting the fact that a lot of different people can admire All Might, but for different reasons, and because of that it's gonna push them to be a different person, a different hero, but also maybe a villain, like it was the case for Stain. It was interesting, really, to see it like that, to see that impact that All Might had on people, and the fact that it's different when All Might is in fact the same, you know, acting the same. It was interesting. Okay, let's go for this episode 25, the last one of this season 2. Remember that if you want to have my Patreon, on which you can have these episodes earlier, you have 4 episodes, 4 videos of advance, which means 2 weeks of advance on my Patreon, which means that on my Patreon you can already find my reactions and my thoughts for the 2 OVAs, for the movie, and you can have now my reactions and my thoughts about the episode 1 of the season 3. It's like that, you know. if you can be interested, if you want disadvantages to have that advance, but also to have this reaction parts, you know, in an extended reaction part without playing with opacity, with changing the screen, with being forced to cut that much and all, or in a full reaction part. For a lot of videos for this anime I put a lot of full reaction part, like for example for the last episode and others like that. So if you can be interested to come on my Patreon to support me and all, it can be appreciated. Let's go for this episode! I think so. I think that their quirks can be interesting and be great. Kawaii, kawaii. You're too much. Huh?
目立った罪は犯してないが、ヒーロー殺しの思想にえらく固執してる。
Daddy?
本当に大義はあるのか。まさかこのイカレ女を入れるんじゃねえよな。まず名乗れ、大人だ。今はダビで通してる。
Currently?
出す時になったら出す。とにかくヒーロー殺しの意志を俺が。
Okay, you both believe really into Stein speech. You're just jealous. We are glad you intervened. It's killing you, Tomura. The fact that you need other people.
彼も自分がどうすべきか分かっているはずだ。オールマイト、ヒーロー殺し、もう二度も腹を折られた。
It's killing him. Cool, cool introduction.
実技で霧島、雷、足戸、佐藤、あと瀬野が勝つんだ。今回の試験、我々ヴィラン側は生徒に勝ち筋を残しつつ、でなければ課題云々の前に済むやつばかりだったろうからな。
To push you to be better.
合理的虚偽ってやつだ。私ともやられた。さすがゆえな。赤点は赤点だ。お前らにはベッドに補習時間を設けてる。もういい。言ってたまるけど勝ったり。轟くんもいけない。休日は見舞いだ。
You're celebrities now.
時間切れで15分すっか。じゃあ3時にここ集合だ。みんな行動早いな。私は虫よけ。君誰のこと？虫よけ。虫。そう青山くんって別にそういう。
You know it's not. You wouldn't blush that much.
サインくれや。確か大祭でボロボロになってたやつだよな。
It's Tomura? Where is your aunt?
で、確かボス事件の時にヒーロー殺しと遭遇したんだっけ。すげえよな。いや、本当に信じられないぜ。こんなとこでまた会うとは。
Again, say it again!
運命、因縁めいたもんが。お前にとっては遊泳襲撃以来になるか。
That's it, you understood, you understood. Dekku, you understood.
お茶でもしようか。緑へいず。
And that's it, now we have the title.
お前の思いとはおよそ程遠いところで、お前の審判が生まれてるよ。やってることは同じだろ。俺も、お前も。何なんだ。一体何が。自然に、窮地の友人のように振る舞うべきだ。決して騒ぐな。
Into a public space like that? If Ochako is coming back, if Ida is coming back, they're gonna understand.
全てこの首に触れた瞬間、喉の皮膚から崩れ始める。こんな人混みでやったらすぐにヒーローが来て捕まるぞ。
But you'll be dead.
捕まるまでに20 人が壊せるだろうな。
You know he's never gonna take that risk.
今一番腹が立つのはヒーロー殺し。仲間じゃないのか。問題はそこだ。ほとんどの人間がヒーロー殺しに目がいって。
You're telling him your big weakness. You know the fact that you're jealous of Stan is not with you guys?
なぜ結局奴も気に入らないものを壊していただけだろ。俺と何が違うと思う緑谷。
Le value?
動揺して追然速力出してしまった。デク君わけわからんだろうな。
Check
そん
him!
なことしちゃったな。戻ろう。いや全然あれ違うし。青山君ほんとちゃんちゃらおかしいよ。
Maybe if you're telling that to yourself, repeating it again and again, at some point you're gonna truly believe it.
僕はお前のことは理解も納得もできない。ヒーロー殺しは納得はしないけど理解はできたよ。
Same.
ヒーロー殺しの始まりは
Admiring All
オールマ
Might.
イトだったから。少なくともあいつは壊したいがために壊してたんじゃない。
He has a real purpose. What is yours, truly?
やり方は間違ってても理想に生きようとしてただと思う。なんかすっきりした。なんでヒーロー殺しがムカつくか、なんでお前が鬱陶しいか全部オールマイトが何を悶々と考えていたんだろう俺は。
Ah, his look!
いいんだ。ありがとう緑谷。俺は何ら曲がることはない。対極にある俺を生かしたお前の理想信念、
I'm gonna serve you.
俺の踏み台となる。
話して。
なんでもないよ。大丈夫だからしちゃダメ。じゃあ行くわ。
She knew something was wrong. She knew something was wrong.
待て、シガラクトムだ。
Now she knows.
俺のまま何が目的なんだ。知らないな。
You think he
それ
knows?
より気をつけとけな。次会う時は殺すと決めた時だろうか。
And you asked that question in front of Ochako.
しかしこれからの行動は全てそこへとつながる。オールマイトのいない世界を作る。正義とやらがどれだけ脆弱かを暴いてやろう。今日からそれを信念と呼ぼう。
You need one big value mojo to sell.
全部オールマイトだ。僕が引き止めていればよかったんですけど。
いやいや、
You couldn't during that moment.
犠牲者ゼロは君が冷静でいたおかげだ。
In a way, it was really useful. You add more information about him, his way of thinking.
よかった。無事で何よりだ。助けてやれなくてすまなかったな。
オールマイトも助けられなかったことはあるんですか。
You saved them.
今でもこの世界のどこかで誰かが傷つき倒れてるかもしれない。手の届かない場所の人間は救えないさ。だからこそ笑って立つ。正義の象徴が人々のヒーローたちの。死柄木の発言を気にしてる。彼が現場に来て救えなかった人間は今まで一人もいない。
Never, never? Are we sure of that?
お母さん。
Whoa!
もう嫌だよ。
She was so worried.
心臓持たないよ。
ごめんね。大丈夫だよ。なんともないから泣かないでよ。
Oh, your mom is so sweet.
今回は偶然の遭遇だったようだが。
He was a target
も
right
ちろん
now.
引き続き警戒態勢は敷くが、
ナディア
学校は
が捨てたんです
思い切った方がいいよ。強い光ほど闇も大きくなる。遊泳を離れることも視野に入れておいた方がいい。
Really?
オールフォーワン。今度はちゃんと使わないよ。今度こそ。
But you know you
またよ
can't.
ろしくな。塚内君。
あまりに濃密だった遊泳校の前期課程が終わり、夏休みが始まる。だからといって浮かれてる場合じゃない。備えなければならない。迫り来る悪に本物のヒーローになるために。 僕らに立ち止まる時間は許されてもいないんだ。
For sure, you're gonna continue to train with your mentor.
嬉しそうじゃないか先生。
And I don't see in a way.
ヴィラン連合が着実に仲間を増やしている。信楽戸村が信念を抱いたことにさ、全ては彼に決めさせる。助けを呼ぶなら当然助ける。そうなった時の準備もしている。彼が次の僕となるための。
You already said that you want him to be the next you. That brain like that. Do you want to make a new Nomu, a perfect Nomu, with him, with Tomura, and you would put yourself into it? You know, we know that Nomus, it's a mix of different DNAs, of different people, of different quirks. Thanks to the master created them. For him to say that much, that Tomura is gonna be the next him, and the fact that we are seeing, you know, something being created like that, can it be that? Or just it was a new Nomu that you are creating, because we know that you have plenty in advance. This episode was great, it was intense. I didn't expect it to be like that, again. Like I said it before that session of binge watching, you know, before the episode 23, I thought that the fight Deku with Bakugo against All Might would take 2 episodes, the last ones of this season. I was wrong. So really I was going blindly with this episode 25. So for sure I thought about them having the results of their exams, but I couldn't plan that they would go on a shopping session and that during it they would meet, at least Deku would meet Tomura, they would talk like that together, we would learn that much about him, about how he's functioning, he's thinking, and Deku would learn it, would see it, and Tomura also would learn more about Deku and all. It was not really a big episode with a lot of actions into it, like it was only discussions, if we are thinking about it. But at the end, it was a big episode for the future, you know, for what is gonna happen in the future. First, that opening scene with these new villains coming, saying that they want to join the League of Villains because they believe into what Stain said. The fact that Tomura is taking it so badly, that he doesn't want them, but at the end, like, he knows that he's gonna be forced to accept them even if it costs him. And that's why he wanted to meet Deku, because they're targeting Deku now. They know that Deku is important. And also Deku talked with Stain, was saved by Stain. He's a student, you know, into that school where All Might is. And there are stuff like that that Deku could not understand and that Tomura didn't understand, and he wanted for Deku really to tell him his opinion about stuff. It was interesting, you know, the fact that Tomura targeted Deku right there, not only because he has his eyes on him, but also because he really thought that Deku had answers to his questions. And it was the case, because with what happened with these villains joining the group at the beginning, really for Tomura it was like, it's too much, like everyone admires Stain, everyone wants to join us now because of Stain, not because of me. When I'm the one who created that League of Villains, no one cares about me, is talking about me, admires me, what is happening with that Stain and all. And Deku was right. We can't agree with what Stain is doing, but we can understand it because his principle, you know, his idea at the beginning of it, it's to do something against heroes who are using their quirks to do something bad. Like he wants to, for all of the heroes to be perfect, to be like All Might. And what Tomura understood through that is the fact that everyone is inspired by All Might. In a way, you know, it's the conclusion that I had at the end of the last episode and during this intro, the fact that yes, everyone is inspired by All Might in a different way, Bakugo is inspired by All Might, and he took, you know, from All Might, from what he saw in All Might, the fact that he wants to always win at the end. Deku was inspired by All Might, and he took from him that thing about saving people. Stain was inspired by All Might, and he took from him that thing about being a perfect hero, not doing anything bad with his quirk, anything personal and all. For sure you don't appreciate that, Tomura, but at least now you understand. And you know now that what you miss, it's a conviction, a cause, a real cause. You want to go after All Might, but you miss really a purpose, a goal, something to help people also to believe into you, to trust you, to follow you for that. At the end, you know, the master, he said that's it. Now Tomura has a conviction, he needs people to follow him for that. If he needs help, I'm gonna help him. I want him to be the next me. You know, during the first season, I had that impression that Tomura didn't want to disappoint someone. He said something which made me think that maybe he was talking about his father or something like that. After that, I gave up on this idea, but now with the master, with what he's saying about Tomura, I'm coming back a little to it. Maybe it can be his father? I don't know. Maybe it's more a mentor situation? I really don't know. To have that scene, you know, into that public place, Tomura threatening Deku like that, like, if you're moving, if you're doing something, I'm killing you. And not just I'm killing you, but I can kill also a lot of people. So you don't want to move to not be killed, but even more because you don't want other people to be hurt. And we know that that sentence really convinced Deku, in fact. And Deku, you know, the pressure that he had during that moment to be killed, but also for Tomura, how he was acting, talking. I felt really the intensity of that moment for Deku. For Tomura, it was really like just curiosity, almost like, it's okay for you to see my face, it's okay for me to take that risk, I need my answers, I'm curious, I really want to know. The fact that Ochako is coming back like that, like first that she ran away because she was blushing again, and that she came back like that, like, no, it didn't mean anything, it's just because I really think that he's a good student, he can be a good hero, and I admire him for that. No, you're wrong, fake French guy, and all. Seeing the guy, she didn't know who he was, she didn't recognize him. And now that I think about it, in fact it's normal because she was not there during that fight. We had Todoroki and other guys, you know, but her, she was out there, so it's logical. But she knew that something was wrong, that it was not Deku's friend. When he left Tomura, she went for Deku. You know, the question that Deku asked during that moment about the quirk, he asked that question in front of Ochako, and Ochako, she doesn't know about the quirks, about the connections between the quirks, like, is she gonna ask a question about it? After that, you know, it would be great and it would be logical, like, if I would be her, I would ask the question. Why did you ask him that question? What about that quirk and all? Bakugo was not there because he doesn't want to have fun. That's not really a surprise. Todoroki was not there because he's spending his day off with his mom. That's so great. It means that, you know, catching up the time that he missed with his mother. It's so cool. At the end, we are seeing, you know, all of them, what they're gonna do during this summer. It's cool. The fact that Deku's mother was that worried, oh, I was sad for her. It's not gonna go easier, you know? Like, it's gonna get worse and worse. Your son is gonna be involved into worse things, you know, with time. I'm worried for her and her heart. All Might was sorry to not have saved Deku during that moment, but Deku was not really in danger, I don't think so. really Tomoda was just curious, he just wanted that conversation and to face Deku like that. And it was not a coincidence, you know, like really targeted Deku. The police guy didn't understand it, but I think that All Might have understood it. And yes, you're gonna have to go after the master once again, but again All Might knows that it's not gonna be enough and it's gonna be Deku who is gonna have to make that jump. So after that I'm gonna have the movie to discover, you know, for the chronological order. I'm gonna discover also during the next videos that you're gonna see on my Patreon and on my YouTube channel. You're gonna see my reactions and my thoughts to the two OVAs, the one that I was supposed to watch at the end of the season 1, the one that I'm supposed to watch at the end of the season 2, and my reactions and thoughts to the movie. I don't know if, you know, I have to watch it right now for the chronological order, but is it okay, you know, like, what is gonna happen during it? Is it gonna have consequences for the rest of the anime or not? I don't know. For the OVAs, I know that no, but for the movie, I don't know. I will see that when I'm gonna discover it. That's gonna be cool. But you know, finishing the season like that, I'm expecting connections between this final episode and the movie that I'm gonna watch. For sure. It's what the name of the movie again? Two Heroes, with the special All Might Rising. Am I gonna have flashbacks about All Might, about how he had the quirk and stuff like that? You know that I want that since a long time. Maybe it's gonna be the case. We're gonna discover All Might's story. It would be great. Two heroes? No, I'm not gonna try to guess what it's gonna be and all right now. I will do that during the intro of that video and that's all. Okay, so it's all for you and for me for today, for this session of binge watching. I will see you for a session of binge watching for these two OVAs and that movie. For you it's gonna be on 3 different days, you know, on 3 different videos. And that's it. It's all for you and for me for today, so it's all for me for now. So bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Hey.